Good evening, everybody. Most of y'all know me, most of y'all don't. But most of y'all know my story, most of y'all don't as well. But my story seems to reach a certain point and it stops and it doesn't get pushed on, or solidarity is not fully placed, no matter how much solidarity I show. That's all right though. It's all right, because I'll keep on fighting this fight to keep my daughter safe, to fight against the lies against me that her mother put out there just because she can't get custody of our daughter, and against these caseworkers who evidently hate me because I keep exposing their negligence from the time when my daughter got hurt underneath their, under their watch while they were supervising a visit with her mother, and times that I've caught them basically not supervising the visits. And so much more I've caught. But something I wrote back in 2015. Like I said, I've been advocating for many years, and I've helped families and helped guide families and became a listening ear for them. And that motivated me to fight even more. And now I'm fighting this battle myself personally because of a negligent, corrupt system, racist, biased system. And people in it who only goal is to get bonuses and incentives to protect themselves from being exposed and not being sued. Yeah. Anyway, I wasted enough of y'all time. So let me just get into it. No fathers left behind. Now, I am a father, but let me be very clear. I am a black father. Okay? I'm setting the spotlight on this problem because the media doesn't cover it the way it should. The legislators who I've contacted seem to turn a blind eye to this problem. And it affects our communities a whole lot every day. So hopefully my story will free my daughter and I from this pain. It will help others out there deal with their pain. And will put a stop to this, bring accountability. Okay? Because the problem is the blatant disregard for father's rights and the actual well-being of a child, which are both violated and ignored in family courts around the country and by agencies due to ego, bias, racism, so many things out there. I've been told many, times, as well as other fathers, that if you were a woman, things would go differently for you. Or there's an unwritten rule in the family court system and throughout these agencies that the mother is always the best option for a child, no matter how bad the mother is. That's disgusting. That is disgusting. Or because you're a black man at 6 feet tall, weighing over 200 pounds, you're intimidating. Because you fight so hard to protect your child, you're aggressive. These are the things I've been hearing. I've also heard you don't get the chances like a woman would because the courts like to favor the mothers. Or if you were a mother, we would be out there with torches and dogs to find your daughter. But that system does not work that way when it comes to a father, no matter how good of a father you are. These are things I've heard. So to give you a clear look at this bias towards fathers and disregard for the best interests of a child, I'll give you my backstory, which will lead into my current dilemma. Because our voices are not being heard, and the system is trying to silence us. So I am screaming at the top of my lungs on behalf of good fathers everywhere for the injustice and the violation of our rights to be stopped. And the parties involved in these illegal activities, these unconstitutional, these unethical, these disgusting behaviors to be held accountable at all costs. Be held accountable. Okay. And for this video, I'll probably face retaliation in family court tomorrow and other days to come, as I've been facing retaliation every time I've exposed them. But I will not be silenced, and my daughter and I will not have our stories buried just because these people want to use this false power that they have, just because they work for agencies, just because they get appointed to positions to try to silence us, to try to bury us, to try to destroy our families. This is what they do. They destroy our black families so much. It's a continuation of the slave trade. It's a continuation of it. Legalized child trafficking. This is what they do. They make profit off of our babies. They make profit off of our pain. Enough is enough, man. Enough is enough. My daughter Harmony was born on February 1st, 2012. It was the most joyous time of my life. No other February 1st date, nothing on February 1st will ever compare to the birth of my child. And I'm going to run down real quick. I'll give you a synopsis of all this stuff. But it's a very long thing here. But basically, things were good for a short time because I started asking myself what was going on, because my daughter's mother, Siobhan Taylor, was starting to act strange. Her behavior started becoming erratic. The way that she corresponded with our daughter and her other two children, something wasn't right about that. So I felt the need to protect my child. Due to the changes in her mother's behavior and just the character she was hanging around, on September 12th, a parenting agreement was drawn up between us, and we both signed it and got it notarized, which stated that I have sole residential custody of my daughter, and we maintain mutual custody, mutual legal custody, which basically means that we maintain our parental rights jointly, and I just maintain, and then I also maintain residential custody. My daughter lives with me. Okay, so I moved back to Brooklyn, moved out the Bronx, moved back to Brooklyn, stayed at my mom's house. What got me was as much as I wanted to protect my daughter, but how quick and easy and willing that her mother was to sign this agreement. She read through it. She read through all, I think it was like 6 pages of it. Read through it. She was like, okay. She didn't care. But I was happy because I did what I should do as a father, to protect my child. And I'm still a kind-hearted person, because even when when my daughter's mother received an eviction notice in 2013, she called me and said she needed money, and I paid to have her eviction stayed. So basically, for her to be able to live back in the house, because I figured, okay, you know what? She needs to still have a relationship with her child. Her other two children do not deserve to be on the street because of her neglect of being able to keep a job, paying her rent, something like that. So I paid it. And the thanks I got back at the end of all of this is nothing but vindictiveness and malice. There'll be times that I bring my daughter to the house to visit her mother and her siblings, and her mother wouldn't be there. The siblings would be there by themselves, left unattended. Call the mother. She's down the block hanging out, doing whatever. I'm like, yo, come, come watch your kids. Come be here for your kids, man. Your daughter's here to visit you, and you're not even here. There's a lot of things that's going on. It's crazy. There was even an incident where she had even called me when I was in Brooklyn. She called me and she was like, the how the neighbor's son that basically was caught in the closet with her other daughter, who's probably like, I'd probably say 5 or 6 at the time. And I'm like, what? So I go up there to try to situate the situation out, because all you know me know how I am when it comes to people who do these type of things. And just her lack of concern, though, was just disgusting. It's like she didn't care. I don't know. It's crazy, man. The crazy thing is that I found out that her mother was hanging out with this crew who called themselves the Tel Avenue Gang, who was supposed to be a syndicate of the Bloods and whatever. I said, okay, cool. You're a grown woman. You're in the gang. That's ridiculous. Like, really? But she, no matter how much I talked to her about her activities and the fact that, the kids and the danger and stuff like that, you know, it's like she didn't care. Okay, cool. And there's a whole bunch of things that went down that just didn't sit right with me, with her. I tried to help her. She'll act like she here. She wouldn't be doing, she would act like she's gonna do it and she doesn't. Times where I even felt that I had to, at least, report some of these things to the agencies, because I'm like, yo, these kids are in real danger right now. Nobody did anything. It's like they didn't care. This is why these kids end up the way they are sometimes. All this funding that these agencies get, it's like they don't care. And I remember when I got a notice in the mail, excuse me, notice in the mail, and it's talking about that that I had to pay child support for my daughter Harmony. Well, like I said, I've been having custody of my daughter Harmony since September of 2012, when she was 7 months old. So I'm like, wait, what's going on? This makes no sense. So I call her mother, like, do you know anything about this? No, she doesn't know anything about this. So I go to the court. She comes. Come to find out, she had our daughter on her case fraudulently to collect extra money, extra food stamps. I was like, nope, not on my watch, man. You're not about to put me in this hole here. Told the judge, no, I have custody of our child, man. So the agreement and everything else like that, he ended up dismissing it. It's crazy. It's crazy. But besides all that, besides just the way she is, besides the fact that she's bipolar and she's schizophrenic and she doesn't take her meds and all this stuff, but despite all this, despite all of this, the thing that got me was in November 2014, she kidnapped our child and ran the Catskills. Her explanation to me via text was, oh, I was worried that I won't be able to see them again, because seemed like somebody's trying to set me up on a bad deal. But just a few days prior, she had abandoned her other 2 children and was up there selling crack cocaine, messing up other people's lives, while she's messing up her children's lives. When she kidnapped my daughter, the detective they put on the case, Detective Mihu from out of, I think it was the 43rd Precinct, he really didn't do anything. It wasn't until the news caught wind of the story that all of a sudden he's calling me talking about, did you talk to the news? Did you talk to the news? I'm like, yes, I talked to the news. Yes, they interviewed me. I told them the story. Well, I guess he didn't like the fact that they put out the fact that the NYPD wasn't doing enough to find my child. Because this detective Hugh told me the first time he saw me, oh, if you was a woman, more would be done for you. That's what he told me. And what's so crazy is that even the National Center of Missing and Exploited Children contacted him. They contacted me. I gave them his number. They contacted him and asked him for whatever number or file number they needed so they could put out an Amber Alert for my child. And he would not cooperate with them. But if she was blonde hair and blue eyes, I bet you he'll be up in arms. He wouldn't even need them. He'll be out there searching himself. But because my baby girl got black hair and brown eyes, brown skin, he didn't want to help him. That's basically how it looks to me. He didn't want to help. He didn't want to help. There was a website on Facebook called Black and Missing. You know, I made a missing persons flyer. I even put the detective's number on there, put my number on there. Description, everything else like that. Because the National Center of Missing Exploited Children was like, until the detectives give us this information, there's nothing we can do. Our hands are tied. But continue your efforts. So I created this missing person flyer, sent to Black and Missing. Black and Missing put it on their website. News 12 came to interview me. They ran the story basically 3-4 times a day, going on for 2 weeks. My daughter was missing for 2 weeks. Family court had to give me a writ of habeas corpus for the police to actually do their job to help me, which they still didn't do their job to help me. There was even a charge sheet that I still got possession of that stated her offenses being kidnapping and other relatable offenses, which is a federal crime. Still, nobody was moving their feet the way they're supposed to. Oh, sorry. I'm trying not to cry right now. So, was finally able to find where my daughter was. The detective didn't even go. He didn't even go retrieve her like he's supposed to. He didn't go take the mother and question her and process her the way that I, as a father, would have been processed if I had kidnapped the child. That's the bias I'm talking about. And the crazy thing is, that it took the help of a complete stranger to help get my child, and the help of my best friend to go retrieve her. And a lot of people poured in their support. People I didn't even know poured their support online. I created a group and a hashtag called "Bring Harmony Home," bring Harmony back home. And so much support was coming in. People were showing so much love, saying that she needs to come back home. People were knowing the story. Found out that the mother was in Catskills in a shelter. Went out to retrieve my daughter because negotiation was made between the community advocate who was helping me at the time and the Catskills police to basically meet at the precinct there to exchange my daughter. So went there, waited. Finally, she walks in with my child. Found out that the family knows the precinct, so that got me scared. I'm a black man in a little town. As y'all see in these news articles, all around the world, these videos. It doesn't work out well for us. But as soon as my daughter saw me, my daughter ripped her arm out of their arms and ran towards me and gave me a big hug. And I told the officer there that he had to serve the papers because this is what the judge wanted. He was like, nope, we're not doing that. I was like, wow, okay, I see how it is now. So I was like, well, can you at least record that you see it happening? He's like, we could do that. So he does that. I get a copy of it and everything else like that. We leave out, we come back down to Brooklyn. Happy. Daughter's reunited. My daughter's telling me, Daddy, please don't let me go back there. Please don't let me go back there to Mommy. Mommy was telling me you didn't love me. Mommy was being nice to me. Oh, Jesus. When you hear your child who's 2 years old pleading with you like this, it hurts. It hurts. It hurts. It hurts your heart. It hurts your soul. We go back to court later in November to do a show cause to the judge. And the judge, Judge Ross, in Kings County Family Court, he's like, he asks, is the child here? You know, did you get your child back? I'm like, yes, sir. She's downstairs in the daycare of the court. He's satisfied with that. I provide him with the paperwork from the police stating that they had witnessed her being served the papers. Then she asked for a lawyer, so he puts it on a break for her to go speak to a lawyer. We come back inside the court. Matter of fact, before we come back inside the court, the oldest child, her oldest daughter, hands me these papers, and I'm like, what is this? But the grandmother, the mother's mother, was sitting behind them, so she had them rolled up, and she handed them to me because they were sitting next to me. I'm looking at her, I'm like, I'm mouthing to her, what is this? And the grandmother leans over to try to, hear what I'm talking about. So I was like, you know what? I'm not going to get her in trouble. So I take the papers and I put them in my jacket. And then when the grandmother went into the bathroom, that's when the oldest child tells me, these are pages out of my diary. I hope they can help you. So that way you could keep Harmony safe and help us get to our fathers. There's a child bleeding to me. Because crazy thing is that even when I saw the family court judge, Judge Ross, a few days prior, before I was able to get my daughter back, and find my daughter, get her back, he even asked me if I wanted to get guardianship of these two, and I was like, no. I spoke to their fathers, and they said that, and their father said that they would, no, one of their fathers, the oldest one's father, said that he's going to work on it, and he would appreciate anything I could give him from evidence so that way he could get his daughter. And I said, okay, cool, which he never did. They never went to save their daughters. Never did. But I am saving mine, and the system's trying to destroy us. So anyway, so we in there. So then her lawyer says, well, Yana, she's in a DV shelter. Or ultimate cop out right there. She's in a DV shelter. The judge looks at me and says, Mr. Beckford, I thought you said that she ran away because she said that she was being investigated by the police. I'm like, Your Honor, that's what she told me. I said, because I don't know why she's in a shelter, though. I don't know why she's in a DV shelter. He's like, so if I look in this system, I'm not going to find a history of domestic violence. I said, Your Honor, I don't put my hands on people like that. I said the only time that I'll ever do that is if I'm defending myself. There's no need for me to defend myself. So I don't hit women, Your Honor. It's something I don't do. He then asked me, well, if I look in these papers, if I look in the system, I'm not going to find anything. If I do a background check, I said, Your Honor, you could do a background check. You're not going to find a thing. So, crazy thing is that he asked for the paperwork I had showing the statements that she made in regards to being investigated by police. He saw that. He also saw one where she admitted to going to Catskills and some drugs. And he was like, wait, are you serious? He asked you and you told him? Her lawyer's like, Your Honor, my client would like to get custody. Because, of course, she don't tell her lawyer everything. As with any manipulative person, she will lie. Her lawyer, Judge Ross, his lawyer, you don't even know what this is about, do you? He was like, they have a parenting agreement already, and it's being honored. It's a legally binding contract. They both sign it, and it's notarized. Her lawyer's like, okay, then can we at least put in a petition for visitation? The judge says, let me guess, to Catskills? To have the visitation in Catskills? Her lawyer's like, yes. He's like, so you want her to have visitation in Catskills where she kidnapped this child and ran away to? He's like, no, not happening. So he already seen the lies. That was going on. He knew the story. Of course, her lawyer and Siobhan and her lawyer were not pleased at all. And so the judge then adjourns it to a referee who is Lisa Askanaski for the finalization of these orders. And sorry, I'm comfortable. Miss Askanaski, because there was even a COI, which is court order investigation, that was done that basically showed neglect of the mother, showed that everything was right for my daughter inside the home. And Miss Askanaski still, despite my daughter's lawyer at the time, who was Lauren Flynn, despite her saying that that her client, which is my daughter, would be safe in with supervised visitations if the mother has only supervised visitations, even though my lawyer on my behalf stated to the judge that I was even willing to pay for Safe Horizon, I think it was like $50 cost or something like that, for them to do or $100, something like that per visit, for them to supervise a visit. And referee Lisa Askanaski in the Kings County Court said no. She even dismissed the order of protection I had against my daughter's mother by stating that kidnapping was not a family offense. I'm sorry. From what I last remember, it is a family offense and it's also a federal crime. But then again, let me have done any of these things, then all of this stuff went way down on me. The mother missed court a few times. There was no accountability for that. But let that be me, there would have been accountability. The mother, a few times for the visits, she didn't show up. There's times when she came late, times when she dropped my daughter off late, times when there was even times where I had to go to Catskills to pick my daughter up because she didn't have money to return her. And I'm like, what's going on here? Why isn't these courts doing anything about this? There was a lot of stuff that I gave my lawyer to present to the court. Who knows if it even got presented to the court? Because from everything that's going on now, I don't think the court knows a thing. There was even a caseworker from ACS by the name of Janine Boval. who I've explained a lot of this stuff to her. Explain a lot of the things that the mother has done and stuff like that, and she herself knows it. Matter of fact, I even faxed her documentation and stuff, and even told her things, and she's written it down, and she blatantly disregarded these things. She blatantly did not do her job or her due diligence to protect my daughter, to protect my rights, and to protect these other two children. Okay. Now, here's a funny thing now. So, what is it? After a few visits and a few scars on my daughter later, that nobody ever did anything about, as many times I've reported it. Come August of 2015, the mother does a petition for, the mother's lawyer does a petition for her to get it's July 2015, lawyer does a petition for her to get 2-week visitation. My lawyer tells me to be flexible and to allow it. I said, okay, cool, let's be flexible. Let's allow it. So the 2-week visit happens. I had to go up to Catskills to go pick my daughter up because her mother told me she didn't have money to bring her back down. She was even there to hand my daughter over to me. It was her mother who handed my daughter over to me. I'm like, wow, okay. Come back down. We have a next court date. She doesn't show up. The referee, Lisa Askenazi, gets fed up. She's like, she asks Siobhan's lawyer, Miss Cheryl Duval, where's your client? I need you to reach your client, find out what's going on. She don't know where her client is. She calling her, nobody's picking up. So there was a petition for her to get 2 weeks visitation in August, and the judge was like, no, I'm dismissing this petition because she didn't show up to court. You don't know where your client is. So I get outside the court, I text Siobhan, and I'm like, where you at? Like, we at court today, why'd you miss it? You messing yourself up here. She catches the attitude with me. Basically, she blames me for the dismissal of her 2-week visitation in August petition. I'm the bad guy. She blames me for it, saying that I told the judge, which is actually a referee, what to do. And I'm like, are you serious? She's not listening to me. I can't even talk in that court. Only my lawyer could talk directly to her. But whatever. This is part of the delusional state that she's in, because she always thinks that somebody did something to her instead of her holding accountability for herself. So everybody else has to suffer because of that. So comes time that her actual weekend visit comes up, for her just to have the weekend visit. And we do an exchange with my daughter, and we're walking down from the precinct where the exchange was to happen in Manhattan, at Manhattan South. Walking down the street, and I tell her, I'm like, yo, Siobhan, I said, I got something to tell you and to ask you. I said, Harmony told me that Gladys and Angel are at your house, and that Gladys washed her hair, and that Gladys and Angel be kissing on the couch in front of her, in front of them, and the rest of your kids. I said, yo, let me tell you this, they're not supposed to be around my child. I said, according to the court agreement, to the court order, nobody who is of the influence of drugs, anybody affiliated with any type of drug selling, drug use, or anything like that is not supposed to be around our child. I said, get them away from our child. I said, especially since I know Angel's history when it comes to kids, when it comes to violence, when it comes to the fact that he's being investigated for attempted murder. No, keep them away from my child. Get them out your house. I also told her to tell her mother to stop telling our daughter that her last name is not Beckford and that I don't love her. And I even told her, do not let our child come back down with another bruise or another cut. because I'm then going to petition for the court to basically remove all your petitions, so that way you have to do nothing but get counseling for help, like you should have been getting. But then also, so that way you can have supervised visitations, so that way she's protected. Well, let's say that didn't go over so well. Out of that exchange there, her reply to me was, don't let me be a bitch to you, Anthony. Yeah. I'm like, wow. Wow. It's like it just replays in my head. Just replays in my head. The kidnapping that she did of our daughter and everything else just replays in my head. And then she says to not let her be a bitch to me. I was like, okay, whatever. I kiss my daughter. I give her a hug and tell her see her soon. And she's like, I'll be back, Daddy. I'm like, I know you will, baby. And then guess what? My daughter doesn't return. My mother took her for the weekend and doesn't return her when the weekend's done. I'm texting her like, where's she at? She's like, oh, I don't have money to bring her down. And I'm like, well, you know what? I'll pay for your ticket to come back down to Brooklyn. Come back down to New York. So that way you just drop her off. But she's playing games. And she sent me a text message saying, tell him that you have 2 weeks of visits. And so I text her back saying, let me guess, your mother told you to say that? She's like, no, my lawyer, Mr. Val, said to say that. So basically, she just basically admitted that her lawyer co-conspired with her. Yes, Miss Cheryl Duval co-conspired with Siobhan Taylor to abduct Harmony. My lawyer's on vacation, so I go to the courts myself, get a writ of habeas corpus. I see Judge Mulroy for that, get a writ of habeas corpus. I go up to Catskills, go to treat my daughter. They find out that Angel and Gladys are still in the house. They tell them, they tell the police she left all of a sudden last night. Which is so funny because the night before, I called Catskill police and let them know, get them courtesy, let them know that I was coming up to get my daughter. They told me, oh, she left all of a sudden last night. Which it was probably that Detective John from Catskill PD who seemed to be cozied up with them who probably did that. You know, probably tipped her off. Detective John, Detective Jones, whatever his name is, from Catskill Police. Like I said, the family's very close with him. To the point where these people will commit infractions like this and not care. Because who holds these people accountable? You know. So anyway, I don't want to drag this on any longer because I know a lot of y'all have short attention spans, but I'm just gonna get to the point of this. Okay. I'm trying to put all of these events into this short span, short span of time. So come back with the police report to court to let them know I meet up with my lawyer. To let them know that I went up there, the two individuals there, not supposed to be there, that the mother basically evaded the police from when they went to go retrieve my daughter back. And what ends up happening, they put out a warrant for her arrest. The family court, Judge Mulroy puts out a warrant for her arrest. My lawyer worked it out somehow with her lawyer to have her return my daughter back. I guess the agreement was a vacating of the warrant, whatever that, I basically that's what they did. And we get into court. They ask her, "Where's the child?" She's like, "In the daycare downstairs." To check, they see. They matter of fact, no, my daughter came. She brought my daughter upstairs, and they had to bring my daughter downstairs to the daycare. And the judge, but it wasn't Judge Mulroy we went in front of. It was Judge Kusakabi that we was in front of. And as soon as we get inside, of course, her lawyer tries to come with every single false sob story as possible to try to make me, try to make her client look good and make it seem like, oh, I'm the reason why these things happen. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm the victim here. My daughter's the victim here. The Cheryl Duval, the mother's lawyer, she brings in this ACS lawyer who he's talking about, oh, Your Honor, we have allegations against him for child abuse and neglect against the mother's other two children. These are children I haven't seen in like how long? You see where I'm going with this, right? And the judge is like, wait, what? He even tells him, if y'all thought that any of this was true, we would not be having this conversation. Mr. Beckford would be in jail. He even actually says, has anybody from the police department contacted you in regards to the allegations? I'm like, no. He's like, has anybody in the police department ever called you, tell you to come down? Anybody from the police ever tell you that, they need to speak to you, email you, whatever, something like that? I'm like, come to your home? I'm like, no, Your Honor. He's like, so, these allegations are so-called been around since, which basically these allegations happened right after, basically during the time span of the warrant for her arrest and the writ of habeas corpus and all this stuff, and me warning her about getting her rights taken away. That's when these allegations come about. And then 85% to about 92% of nasty custody battles like mine was, the other party always brings out false allegations against the party that is in custody of the child to try to level out the playing field for them. People are so vindictive and so disgusting in their behavior, man. So what ended up happening is, the judge told him, if y'all thought these allegations was serious, if y'all thought that there was any truth to this, y'all would have remanded the child back in Greene County, where the mother resides, or y'all would have remanded the child as soon as the child got down here. It was like, you don't play with people's lives like this. It's like, this is not something they just put out there. And the judge was like, so I'm remanded the child back to her father, who she's supposed to be with, and who she was with before the mother didn't return her. Got my daughter back. I'm happy man. 3 hours later, though, ACS comes to the house and snatches my daughter away. Yeah. So we told him, okay, since y'all doing this, since you want to be vindictive because your feelings got hurt in court, okay, let's go place my daughter at least with friends of ours from church. And they do that. I visit my daughter. It was like twice a week, and it hurt. My daughter always cried, always didn't want to let me go, and it hurt me so badly. So I go to Queens, go visit my daughter. One time in the community up there in the park, the worker comes and she's only stays for half an hour, and she's like, Mr. Beckford, we have to end the visit because I have to go do paperwork. Which I come to find out, she wasn't supposed to do that. Another violation of my parental rights. So, and it's the same lady, Janine Boval, from ACS. So then I end up moving out of my mother's house so my daughter could get kinship with my mother and at least live there. And I was happy. My daughter got to go back to school again. She got to be with her friends, her teachers. She got to be around family again. And then my visits then go from twice a week down to it was twice a week down, and then it moved up to 2 hours every day. While the mother's visits are every third Saturday, basically one time a month, every third Saturday of the month. But still, no matter how many statements I provide to the court from different people, no matter how many statements I give to my lawyer, no matter how many things that I've just brought as proof, it seemed like the court didn't see any of this. And the fact that the dockets that they should have been looking at, they were they're somehow missing. All of my dockets are missing. And there's about 4 to 5 dockets. All of them seem to be missing or misplaced or not presented. And it's weird. And nobody's saying a thing about this. A lot of y'all seen the video of my daughter being hurt with the bruise on her face. That came from a supervised visit that her mother had. Nothing being done. I reported it. They get investigated. They try to cover it up, which in terms of them trying to cover it up to protect themselves, they of course covered up the mother's negligence as well too. Like I said, put videos out there, have pictures out there. Even the pictures from that incident I sent to my lawyer. My mother sent it to my daughter's lawyer, which is a new lawyer, Miss Martha Pollard. Excuse me. And nothing happened. Nothing. No accountability whatsoever. So this woman has been getting away with lies, false accusations, neglect, vindictiveness, everything underneath the sun because of this bias against fathers. Oh. I remember they even tried to have a criminal case come against me for child abuse and child neglect. Like I said, it wasn't even against my daughter. They tried to play it smart. They tried to say it was against the other 2 children. But they put my daughter's name on the file. Exactly. And I'm like, what? This doesn't add up. But nobody's saying anything. And I can't speak because as long as you have a lawyer in these courts, your voice is not heard. And if you have a pro bono lawyer in these courts, your rights are not fully being protected. But they know that we can't afford these private lawyers. I have a lawyer who told me that he could definitely reverse everything around in this case, but I have to retain him for $5,500. I don't have that right now. I can't pull that out. I've even started a GoFundMe, and all I got was $30. The amount of people I have on Twitter and Facebook, if they all at least put in $10, I wouldn't be able to have this lawyer. My daughter and I wouldn't be going through what we're going through right now. My daughter's godparents, the Haywards, they showed up to court a few times, and they've even heard the lies and seen the lies and saw through the lies. Saw the whole conspiring that was going on, and I'm like, at least somebody sees it because at least I know that I'm not seeing things or hearing things. I know it's true because somebody else is witnessing this. My mother's been there and witnessed this as well. All they keep on doing is hurting me and hurting my daughter. Even this last court date on May 3rd, last time I saw my daughter was on May 2nd. Last court date, I helped her with her homework like I usually do. Heated up her food, watched TV with her. We played with the toys. May 3rd, we go to court, and the HCS lawyer just come in with lies. Oh, the mother, the grandmother, and the father are talking to the child about the case. Are you stupid? Are you really stupid? I'm going to talk about this shit show to my 5-year-old to put more stress on her? No. And of course, my daughter's lawyer is mad at me and mad at my mother because when they talked to my daughter the week prior, my daughter came out the room crying to my mom, saying, "Grandma, they trying to confuse me. Grandma, they trying to have me lie against daddy." This is what they doing to our children. To even people who were inside that waiting room, mother said that they even told my daughter the next time they try to do that, you tell them that you don't want to talk anymore and that you want your you want your grandmother and your daddy. This is what they're doing to our children. It's what they're doing to our lives and our families. And they don't care. They don't care. Well-being of a child doesn't mean nothing to them. These children are just paychecks to them. Our hurt and pain are just paychecks to them. Opportunities for raises and promotions. They have too much unlimited funding for them to do whatever they want and no accountability. So, it's because of that. Because my mother approached them on it, which was funny because when my mother approached them, my mother was like, "What did y'all do to her?" Because my mother called me, told me about it. I said, "No, go up there and ask them what they do." She was like, "What did y'all do to her?" And he tell my mother, "Oh, you're not supposed to discuss anything with her because it's attorney-client privilege." And my mother made sure she checked them on it. She was like, "No, I didn't discuss a thing. She didn't tell me anything, except for the fact of she came out crying and she said that y'all try to confuse her and have her lie." And my mother is a very spiritual, godly woman. So, of course, they're upset because of that. Of course, the people from the agency are upset because I've been releasing video upon video of evidence exposing them and telling my story and exposing them. And because I've been advocating for other families, and they don't like that because that disturbs their normal life of hurting people, of doing whatever they want, committing these atrocities towards families and towards children, hurting and traumatizing people with no accountability. Judges can hand out findings on the case with no sort of evidence because the evidence in a family court case is a low burden of proof, which is a what if or probably. Or even better yet, it's a better safe than sorry. Let them work it out. And let me give you a good example of that. So, and this is what happens to a lot of families. So if I go outside right now and I come back on video and say, "Hey, it's nighttime, but the sky is blue." And you go out and you don't even have to go outside to see this. Just the thought of, is it blue? That's the type of burden of proof that goes on in family court. They didn't like the fact that the criminal case they tried to bring was closed because I didn't do anything. And I've been pleading my case for the longest time. And all I've been hearing for all type of these counsels, my lawyer, she's telling me that the HCS lawyer wants it as well too, for me to plead to something I didn't do, for them to put my daughter back in my custody. How many cop-outs do they want for us as black people to take to hurt our people? They want us to lie. They want us to commit perjury. The same offenses that are illegal, they want us to do just so that way they can go home at night and not have to deal with a case anymore. Because they've already been paid. But they'll tell you, I've done all I can for you. They'll tell you, oh, they'll act like they don't know these people, that they don't hang out with these people in this court, like they're not friends. You all work within the same court. You all depend upon each other for cases, for referrals and consultations, so that way y'all can get paid off of each other. So you maintain this good relationship. So everybody gets what they want, except for the innocent people, the innocent children, the innocent fathers, the innocent parents. But let me not get too emotional, because then I'll be considered aggressive. Man. So yeah, that's what happened. That's what happened. And that's what's been going on. So the third, ACS lawyer came with this new lie that we talked to my daughter about the case. It said that his client wanted the visits to not be in the agency. I get outside the courthouse, and his client, who's the case planner from the agency, Jerron Paris, and by the way, the ACS lawyer is Delano Connolly. The judge is Ilana Grubal. The daughter's lawyer is Martha Pollock. The mother's lawyer is Cheryl Duval. But the case planner from the agency, Jerron Paris, he tells me, Mr. Beckford, I didn't want the visits to be at the agency. He's like, you didn't see the way I looked at him when he said this? And I'm like, then if that's the case, why didn't you say anything? Why didn't you stand up and advocate like your job is supposed to have you do? He's like, well, the judge didn't ask me anything. I'm like, what you mean? You can stand up, you can say it. If he says something false, then you stand up for it. You do your job. But no, you neglect to do your job. That right there is a violation. And I actually had that on recording of him saying, on audio of him saying that he didn't tell them, and he didn't want the visits to be at the agency. So he also tells me, well, know what, we're going to do it in the community, so you can see your daughter. Because remember, I went from seeing her every day to now they playing games. Call them, text them, always some excuse after another. 13 days later is when I saw my daughter after that date. 13 days later, I didn't even get to see my own mother for Mother's Day. I didn't even get to spend time with my daughter and help her create a card for her grandmother for Mother's Day. I didn't help my daughter with homework for 13 days. Didn't see her smile for 13 days. Didn't get to see her new artwork for school for 13 days. This is what they do. They try to tire you out and frustrate you and get you to the point to give up. But I'm going to keep on fighting. I'm going to keep on fighting for my baby. I'm going to keep on fighting to keep her safe. I'm going to keep on fighting to hold all these people accountable for every single wrongdoing, every single neglect, every single tear that is shed, every single hurt and pain. I'm gonna hold them accountable for. I'm gonna keep doing my complaints. I'm gonna keep building my voice out there. 13 days, sir. 13 days. I see her. When she sees me, my daughter lets out a scream saying, "Daddy!" Gives me a big hug. 13 days since I was able to hug her. 13 days. 2 years of pain and 13 days of new pain. 13 days. And then what's so crazy is that I asked his caseworker, when's my next visit? He doesn't know. He got to talk to his supervisor, who's also his best friend, Abigail Mensa, another one who I've exposed when my daughter got hurt because she was there. So they got it out for the fact that I've been exposing them and be getting them in trouble, and they don't like that. So I've been victimized by these people. My daughter's been victimized by these people. They don't care about her well-being. They don't care about our rights. Because there's no accountability. "13 days. When I was leaving from the visit with my daughter, she grabbed onto me and she started crying. She started crying like, baby. I'm like, baby, it's all right, babes. It's all right. Daddy will be back soon. It's all right. It's all right, baby. It's all right." And I walk away, tears streaming down my face. Heartbroken. My intelligent little daughter, my beautiful princess, is being hurt by these people. And it has to stop. It has to stop. So, y'all heard my story. Leave your comments below. Spread the news, spread the word, and help me fight for my baby. Peace.